Welcome to the Digital Marketing Insights podcast, brought to you by Brightside Digital.
Hi everyone, welcome to the show. I'm delighted to say I have Pádraig Power on the show today. Pádraig, how are you doing?
I'm well, thanks, Tom. Thanks very much for having me.
You're very welcome, and Pádraig, I'm very excited for this show. Pádraig, do you mind telling us all, first of all, a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, sure thing. So I'm Pádraig Power. I'm Irish. I'm from Limerick originally. Lived in Cork for a good few years, and now I'm Dublin based. So I work in marketing, and I currently work for a company called Refurbed. I went a bit of a roundabout way in getting into marketing. Originally, I actually studied science in UCC, so I did neuroscience there. I did really enjoy it, but when it came to the actual work of it, it was a bit too monotonous for me. And I realized I needed a bit of time out from that. So I took time out, traveled a bit, and then from there, I saw that I needed something that was a bit more creative, but still had the kind of scientific data side behind it. And with that, then I kind of landed on marketing. So I went back and did a master's in UCC in marketing and started working in it there from then. So I've worked in the hotel industry. I've also worked in credit unions and I've moved over to Refurbed now since last year, which is an e commerce company and it's all about sustainability and refurbished electronics.
Brilliant. And actually, when I was checking you out, Pádraig, one of the things that jumped out to me was the Land of Pods uh, blog that you set up that time and doing some of the work there. But I can tell you've been in the space now a good period of time, well, good few years.
Mhm.
And what would you consider as your main strength in marketing now?
Yeah, sure. That's a good question. I suppose one of my main things would be community building, and also always kind of looking out for the customer and bringing that into everything that we do. So that's something that I suppose was drilled into me definitely in the credit union sphere and also in the hotel sphere because you have so many different people in and out every day of the week. But yeah, so with regards to main digital strengths, I suppose organic, email, social, and everything that leads to building a community aspect there because I think it's super important to have everybody who's interacting with your brand feel that sense of community and be able to join in should they wish. And I think also linked in with that then is just thinking of the consumer and having user experience at the forefront of everything we do. I really think it's better to make sure that if you are getting people to interact with your brand and you are getting to see your community, that there is that positive experience that they can kind of be happy in them with themselves or be able to share further and help both you, the brand, and everybody kind of work together.
I think you hit the nail on the head there with your kind of community building and community management. Do you have any preferred platforms that you build out from, especially when you're talking organic?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I definitely think, all of the general social platforms. For me, I think Instagram is a great tool. I know that TikTok also in the last year has really, or 2 years, even at now at this stage, has really taken off. But I personally find Instagram's a really, really good tool for community. Facebook can be a good tool, but I do find that it's kind of a mix. People are more interested in the products or what's going on there as opposed to your brand's community. Whereas Instagram, I feel like people really follow and connect more so with the brand persona. I definitely think TikTok is something I want to explore a bit more as well, and I'm excited to explore that more with Refurb. We've kind of had some plans coming into play there, and obviously great for the younger generation. But I also think it's a bit overlooked by people for people 30s plus as well. I mean I know myself and all my friends and family are all on TikTok, so I think that's a good one, and I'm excited to get more into that sphere too.
Brilliant. So, how, when you say you're getting into it, are you actively creating content now in a TikTok account?
Yeah, so we're at the stage now where we have ads on TikTok. So the first thing was we've had them for a while, but when I started, I wanted to make sure that they were more native to the platform as opposed to just an ad on there. So we've been working firstly on the actual paid aspect of it, but now we're working on developing unique content for organic and also for more ad content too. But it will be very much just made and tailored for the platform as opposed to some ads that are made for social in general and then reshared on different platforms. I don't think that's the way to go with TikTok, because the audience, number one, is a very well educated audience when it comes to consumerism, but number two, they're on that platform for a break and to have that bit of fun and levity. And I think when you're seeing kind of standard ads, it's not really going to engage them that much.
Yeah. So, do you mind helping us just visualize what your kind of ads that are going, how they are fun and probably more interactive, just
Yeah,
for our
sure. Like
listeners?
I can tell you a simple one that's out now. So like I said before, there used to be more kind of graphic standard ads. There's one now at the moment which uses the song "I Want It, I Got It." Ariana Grande's song. I don't know if you know it or not, but
Yeah.
it was filmed with one of our colleagues on a computer browsing the refurb site and browsing a certain product that they want, and then when they want it. They're obviously on the product page, but then it would jump on the I got it to them physically getting their new device and having their device in their hands. So we did that. She says it like a number of times in the song. So we did that, and it kind of got is a nice way to show off the different products and different brands you have, but to also show them in real life and to show them with a person, and to link it in with audio, which is really popular on TikTok. All of the different trending sounds and songs of the moment, I suppose. So that's just a
Yeah.
simple example of showing the product, but also having a more fun way that's particularly made for TikTok and a bit more engaging for people.
Brilliant. And is there any particular campaigns, marketing wise, throughout your career that you're really proud of? One you'd like to talk about?
Yeah, sure. That's a good question. I suppose but one thing that was really nice was when I was working in the credit union in HSSCU, which is like a health services credit union. There was a few nice initiatives that I brought in there, and there was a lot of scope to be able to bring in new products and to kind of uh, react to the market, I suppose. So one of the things was the different loan products. So we had, for example, during COVID, we brought in a stay-at-home loan, which was a really good rate, but also it was to encourage customers to only apply online for their loans and do the entire process online. It had a dual purpose of number one, of course, you had COVID, and you wanted people's health and safety to be at the top priority. But number two, it had a really nice effect as well of kind of educating our consumers on the fact that they could do the whole process from home, because that's something that in the credit union sphere, a lot of people tend to feel, oh, yeah, they're a bit older or it's a bit of a staler company, and they don't actually realize that there's so much tech there now and that really has come a long way. So that was a really, really nice loan because it could get to kind of educate customers, but at the same time give them a really good offer because it was a special discounted loan as well to help them throughout the COVID pandemic. And then I suppose on that, there's another one which I was excited by, which was we brought in first time buyers mortgages, which is quite new in the credit union sphere. And for that, I brought in a fully integrated and automated kind of first time buyer calculator, which helped our customers check their affordability and do a good step of the process in a really easy way before they even contacted us. So it really helped our staff in the fact that it made the process so much easier for them, that they didn't have to try and call a customer and get them at a certain time and spend ages on the phone. They got the info straight away. But also, we saw that a lot of customers were actually doing this at off peak times, and it was something that was really convenient for them. And with that, then the loan or the mortgages absolutely took off. But it was just really nice to see that you can introduce things and you can do it in a way that helps the business but also helps the consumer, and it's just such a win-win. So I love when
Yeah,
those kind of aspects come together.
that's brilliant. Really good example. Padraig, back to your day to day. is there any particular softwares you use?
Yeah, sure. There's quite a good few that I'd use regularly enough. One, I suppose, which I really like, is an analytical tool, and it's called Looker. So you use that internally, and it's not just used by marketing; it's used by every department. But it's really, really handy to build certain dashboards and check where certain sales are coming from. What are the top performing products? What's your conversions? And all of your kind of marketing data from there, and as well even like impact data. So for example, with Refurbed, we're really passionate about the environment, and we have a certain number of a certain amount of CO2 is saved per device sold, and a certain amount of e-waste as well. So we have those figures there, and it's just a really nice way to kind of overlook everything and also to spot some trends, because for us and for me, I've set up categories of what products are performing well, and we can see, oh, like over time this type of product category is actually starting to peak up a little bit. What's going on there? And it's a nice way to kind of spark those initial insights and get your ideas flowing. Aside from that, then SimilarWeb is really useful to keep an eye on how we're performing and also competitors. And Amplify then is quite a good one for social planning. It's nice and refurbed because we've different platforms for different countries around Europe, because Refurb's in a number of countries. So it's really useful to kind of get the oversight on what everybody's doing and then see what doesn't work for you. Obviously, not everything in another country is going to work for our country, but it's great to see all of the ideas and be able to localize and inspire others as well. So those would be kind of three tools that I'd use quite regularly.
Brilliant. You mentioned straight off the bat Looker, which is a platform I've had my eye on for the last couple of months. Obviously, to request, you have to request a demo to set it up and build it out. Um, how do you find that as a platform? Because it integrates into every area. Is it something that startups can use? Who would you recommend the platform for?
Yeah, absolutely. I recommend it for, from what I've seen, I feel like it could work for a lot of people. I definitely think it's a great tool for startups. I do think it's the type of platform that you'll get as much out of it as you put in. So you do need to spend a little bit of time building your dashboards and building your looks. Either looks is, yeah, essentially the individual, I suppose, things you're searching for. But once that's set up, everything can be automated. It links in with your website, links in with your sales. You can even link it in with Google Analytics. I'm not the best at that part. I ask our internal analytics team for that aspect, but it's really helpful to be able to set it up. And for me now, for example, I have a specific dashboard I've set up just for the Irish market. I have one then for our different statistics, and there's other ones that I kind of look at periodically. But to have my Irish daily one, it's super helpful to keep on track of everything that's happening there. And I think once you're willing to start Looker and just spend a little time figuring out what works for you, it's a great tool for startups, definitely.
Brilliant. And to focus on yourself a little bit,
Yeah.
is there any areas you're looking to upskill or learn more about, and why?
Yeah, definitely. I suppose one of the things that I'd really like to kind of work in a bit more would be strategic partnerships. I think that I'm quite, like I said already, quite strong when it comes to community and even all of the internal aspects with regards to marketing. But I can definitely see just how fruitful partnerships are and can be in the startup sphere or in a sphere where you've entered a new country for a company. So like for Refurb, only joined or only came to Ireland last year, and having partnerships with other trusted companies or brands that can complement your brand is really, really powerful. I think it can not only get you out further and help your brand, but it also gives added value to the customers that you do have, because a lot of the time, there's a co-relationship and they can get a benefit from this other company. So I think working more and integrating different strategic partnerships is something I'd like to get into. And it's something that I have done a little bit in the past, but it has also been hindered by the types of companies I was in, because a lot of them were financial institutions, and you can't really be kind of promoting other companies to when you're in a financial institution. There's a lot more regulations there. Whereas
Of course.
now that I'm out of that sphere, I think that it's something I'd really like to get into a bit more.
Brilliant. Brilliant. And to focus on the digital industry as a whole, is there anything that really excites you that might be coming in the future?
Yeah, definitely. I think that there's always kind of new emerging tech there. I'm excited to see GA4. That's I mean, I think it's next year that it's going to make the full
Yeah.
change in Google Analytics. But
Yeah.
I've already done a training with like one of our Google account managers on that, and it looks really interesting. I think it will be a nice tool, and I suppose we're just going to have to make it a nice tool as well. It's not something that's optional; it's going to happen. So I'm excited for that. And it's also interesting to see how new kind of digital campaign formats are coming in. So, like performance max campaigns now with regards to Google advertising is really interesting, and checking out the different kind of product feed type of adverts there. And then I suppose aside from that, there's always going to be a new social media platform that comes out. Like I said, at present, I'm super excited to get further into TikTok. I've no doubt that in the next 2 to 3 years, there'll be another one that comes out. And I always find that very exciting. I think I'm at a period in my career now as well where I have the experience and also the kind of level of seniority that when a new platform comes out that will really be able to jump on it. I think it when you gauge it right, if you're an early adapter to a platform like that, it can really work well. So I'm always on the eye out for new social medias like that too.
Brilliant. And lastly, we always ask the same question on the show, Padraig, which is if you could bottle up one personality trait that you have yourself that you could pass on to others, what would it be?
Yeah, so this is a tough question, but I had a little think about it, and I think that it's kind of it'll probably be a long-winded answer. I'm not one for short answers, but I think openness would probably be my personality trait, and then to explain that, I think openness very much in a two-way street kind of manner, and I mean that in that I know when I started off my career, I had all of these ideas and this like, oh, we'd love to do this and love to do that, and it's very easy for those to be kind of shut down or not thought of because it's it's someone who's new and yeah, they're excited, whatever. But then a lot of those ideas or some of those ideas can be really good, and it's not from the perspective of, oh, I had great ideas, but I mean it from the perspective of me now, that when I'm talking to other people, whether it's the CEO or whether it's an intern or somebody in between, it's really important to be open to all ideas, to treat everybody with a level of respect and give everybody your time and listen to where they're coming from. Because I think, yes, you can have amazing strategic business ideas from super high up, but you can also have these ideas that nobody would have thought of, no one would have kind of come across before, and it could come completely out of left field from someone you wouldn't have thought would have that insight. So I think openness is super important to, number one, share your own ideas, but number two, to always be excited to listen to other people and see what they're excited about, because there's always a reason that they're excited about it. So it's always worth the time to take and listen.
What a lovely answer to end the show. Podrick, thank you so much for being on the show. I'm sure everyone listening loved what you had to say. And yeah, first and foremost, thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you too. It's been an absolute pleasure, Tom. I'm delighted to have been able to come on.